We trust doctors with our lives. They take an oath to heal, to protect, to do no harm. But what happens when that sacred trust is shattered? When medical professionals use their knowledge not to save lives, but to end them and conceal their crimes? Today, we're diving into 4 chilling cases where doctors and medical practitioners didn't just kill. They used their expertise to hide the evidence. From dismembered bodies hidden in suitcases to mass murders covered up with forged death certificates, these stories will make you question everything. These aren't your typical true crime cases. These are betrayals of the highest order, carried out by people who swore to protect us. Let's begin. Our first case takes us to London, 2021. Gemma Mitchell, a trained osteopath, often boasted about her skills in human dissection. She befriended Mi Kuan Chong, a vulnerable 67-year-old widow, through their church. When Chong promised Mitchell £200,000 for home renovations, but then backed out, Mitchell's desperation turned deadly. On June 11, 2021, Mitchell arrived at Chong's home carrying a large blue suitcase. Hours later, she emerged, the suitcase now bulging and heavy. What happened inside remains partially unknown, but forensic evidence tells a horrifying story. Mitchell used her anatomical training to decapitate her friend and break her ribs, fitting the body into the suitcase. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. Mitchell kept the body in her house for 2 full weeks. During this time, she forged messages from Chong's phone, telling people she'd gone to stay somewhere close to the ocean. She even forged a will, leaving 95% of Chong's £700,000 estate to herself. Finally, Mitchell drove 200 miles to Devon and dumped the remains in woodland near Salcombe. Holiday makers discovered the decomposed, headless body the next day. The head was found separately, 10 meters away. Now let's travel to Manchester, England, where Dr. Harold Shipman practiced as a beloved family physician for decades. He made house calls, spent time with elderly patients, and had a year-long waiting list because he was so popular. But behind this caring facade lurked Britain's most prolific serial killer. Shipman murdered an estimated 250 patients over 27 years. His weapon? Lethal doses of diamorphine medical-grade heroin. But the truly chilling part was how he hid his crimes. As their doctor, Shipman could sign death certificates himself, attributing deaths to natural causes or old age. He falsified medical records, making healthy patients appear terminally ill on paper. He discouraged autopsies and urged families to cremate bodies, quickly destroying evidence forever. Michael Swango was every patient's nightmare disguised as their doctor. This former Marine and medical school graduate earned the nickname Double O. Swango, from classmates, a dark joke about having a license to kill. They had no idea how prophetic that nickname would become. From 1983 to 1997. Swango poisoned an estimated 35 to 60 people, possibly more. As a doctor, he had access to lethal drugs and vulnerable patients. But what makes this case particularly relevant to our theme is what happened after suspicions arose. When investigations began, authorities had to exhume multiple bodies to prove Swango's crimes. Without these exhumations, his victims would have remained hidden, buried as natural deaths. Forensic toxicology found poisonous chemicals in body after body. Swango kept detailed diaries describing his murders. One chilling entry read, "I love it, sweet, husky, close smell of an indoor homicide." He bounced from hospital to hospital, state to state, even country to country. The medical establishment repeatedly failed to stop him, instead writing recommendation letters that helped him find new positions and new victims. Our final case takes us back to 1828, Edinburgh, Scotland. Anatomist Dr. Robert Knox needed bodies for his medical school dissections. William Burke and William Hare provided them, but not from graveyards. They created their own supply by murdering at least 16 people. The victims, mostly travelers and lodgers, were suffocated after being plied with whiskey. Burke and Hare delivered fresh corpses to Dr. Knox's anatomy theater, earning 7 to 10 pounds per body. While Dr. Knox wasn't directly charged with murder, he knew these bodies were suspiciously fresh and intact, not exhumed from graves. This case changed medical history. Dr. Knox's willingness to accept bodies without asking questions enabled a murder spree. The scandal eventually led to the Anatomy Act of 1832, regulating how medical schools obtained cadavers. These 4 cases remind us that expertise can be weaponized, and trust can be the deadliest vulnerability of all. If you thought the horror ended here, you're wrong. What other dark rituals and forbidden practices are still being performed in secret? Dive deeper into the chilling world of haunted ceremonies, banned footage, and eerie folklore that refuses to stay buried. Click on the playlist to uncover terrifying recordings, lost evidence, and disturbing stories they never wanted you to see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads of spine-tingling footage and dark tales that echo from the shadows. This is the Forbidden's Archive, where the hidden truth and haunting evidence come to life.